And I've got, let me see if it'll do it by subject. And hopefully
Okay, I've had. Do you see this one?
it will.
Do you see this?
75, 81. Yeah, it's going in order.
He was supposed to be wearing flip-flops and shorts for one of her classes.
What are you talking about, flip-flops and shorts? What are you talking about?
Because I had to put, I'm having a bad day today, and I had to like rig my flip-flop to work. It literally has, you know, a hair tie connected to one side, holding the other side to stay in place because it's just messed up. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You ever heard of gorilla snot?
Yeah, I didn't have that stuff.
Gorilla snot is perfect for flip-flops. You put that sucker in there, and you fill that little thing with gorilla snot, it'll tear the flip-flop up before it comes out again. I've fixed so many flip-flops with gorilla snot, and they had to quit calling it gorilla snot because evidently it offended some snowflakes. So now they call it, what, gorilla glue or something like that?
But they have hair gel.
Yeah,
Just
that's
called
right. I remember when it used to be
Gorilla.
called Gorilla.
Yeah, it used to be called gorilla snot. Gorilla snot. But you can't use snot anymore because that's offensive. So.
I don't know. I can't get my contacts messed up right now.
Okay, so here's our first question.
Oh, Lord.
5.3.
What?
Okay, now let me hit record. Okay, I've already hit record. 5.3, number 17 in the book, number 7 online. So make sure you write down 17/7. Make sure she writes down 17/7, because 15 seconds from now, she's going to ask, what number is that?
I don't need it.
Okay, you don't need it. She built the space shuttle. She created it. All right, so here we go. Convert to fractional notation. Okay, let me get my handy dandy whiteboard.
How come I have a different answer for a different problem?
Because it's random.
And 9 1/4.
Getting more difficult problems than everybody else.
9 1/4.
The math is singling that.
Now, you can do this two different ways. You can use the big C
Oh,
and go 9 times 4 plus 1 and get 9 times 4 is what?
36.
36. 36 plus 1 is 37, and then use your, now if they ask for a, and I don't know if they just say convert. Okay, so type as a fraction, improper fraction. But if they wanted a decimal, then you could divide that into that, 9, and then what's left over? 9 would be 36, that would be 1. So you would divide 4 into 10, and then I think it comes out to be that. Or you can say, okay, 1/4 is 0.25, so that's equal to 9.25. So you can convert this mixed number into several things, but since the directions say type as a fraction, they want the improper fraction. Okay? Question, right, complaint. So I'm going to type in 37 divided by 4. And we feel good about ourselves.
By George, I think he's got it.
Next, let's delete that one. This is 5.3, 75/22. 75/22. This is a test question. Why? Because it's one that makes you what? Quit. If it's going to make you quit, it's going to be on my test. So let's do this one. So first we've got to find the common denominator. So 30, 40, and 50. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and sometimes 13. I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2 because that's just me. So that'll be a 15, that'll be a 20, and that'll be a 25. Now I'm going to divide by 5. 3, 4, 5. Divide by 3, 1, 4, 5. Divide by 2, 1, 2, 5. Divide by 2, 1, 1, 5. Divide by 5, 1, 1, 1. There's my 2, there's my 10. Do I have another 10? Yep. So there's 10 times 10 is what?
100.
100. And then what's 2 times 3? 600. So 600 is my common denominator. Now this is the great part about this. You can go 1 over 30 minus 11 over 40 minus 17 over 50. Okay, let's say that you're not very good at multiplication. Then you go to your chart over here and you say, how many times will 30 go into 600? Well, you mark off the 30. Where is 30? Well, 10 times 3. So you just kind of mark that off. And what's left? What's 4 times 5? 20. 20 times. So 20 times 1 is what? 20. How many times will 40 go into 600? Well, you go over here and take off 40. Well, 40 would be 10 times 2 times 2, and that leaves 3 times 5. What's 3 times 5? 15. 15 times 11, hold on. 15 times 11, I'll show you a trick I learned in the war. 15 times 10 is what? Sorry. 15 times 10 is what?
150.
And what's 1 times 15?
15.
So then you just say in your head 165.
Yep. I guess.
And then how many times will 50 go into 600? Well, where's 50? Well, there's 10 times what? 5. What's left? 2 times 2. What's 4 times 3? What's 4 times 3?
12.
That means for y'all to interact with me. 12. 12 times 17. Oh, God, might as well quit there. 12 times 17. No, you don't. What's 17 times 10? What's 7? What's 2 times 17? 34. I got 204.
Okay, I got this far and then I bombed it.
Okay, well, good. You quit. Good. No, it's very easy. Remember, do it this way. Next time you get to this point, do this. 20 minus 165 minus 204 over 600. Because all you need to focus on is the numerator. Now, you have $20. You owe 165. So if you owe MasterCard $165 and you give them 20, then how much do you owe them?
145.
145. So your answer would be negative 145. So that would be negative 145. Do you mind, please? 145 minus 204 over 600. Now you owe 145 and you owe Visa 204. So if you owe MasterCard $145 and you owe Visa $204, $349 over 600. And Bernie is going to pay that off for you.
Heck yeah, that's what
I'm saying. 349 over 600. That should be your answer. And that, yes, is a test question. You're going to get 500 of those on the test. When I say that, I don't mean literally 500. That means any question that has a fraction or a minus or a plus in it is going to be on the test. All right, let's do another one because I think that one, I think everybody needs to do a couple of these. All right, try that one. A little bit different. Yeah. And that way you'll have a couple in your notebook to go by. Those that read, some people don't read what they're given.
I'll say my name.
Oh, I can't do that. If I say your name, then you can. Yeah, I'm offended.
There's cat hair all over me.
I'm missing one. Missing any here?
No.
I'm missing one at Oconee. I mean, at Easley. I'll go ahead and take the roll since I know. Let's see, attendance. Attendance. Math 155.05. And that is 155.19. I think it's Miss Banner that's not there, correct?
Yes.
Everybody else is there. All right, so I think the common denominator is the same. But we'll go through and do it again because not all the time are they going to be the same. So 30, 40, and 50. And what you're going to end up finding out when you do enough of these is you're going to start saying, all this time I didn't know how to add and subtract fractions. And it's all because I didn't know how to do this. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, sometimes 13. I'm going to do 5 this time. 5. 5 will go into 30. 6 times. 8 times. What? 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 1, 1. 3, 1, 1, 1. And look at there. There's our two what? There's our two tens. So 10 times 10 is 100 times 600. So I'll go over here and I say 1 over 30 minus 11 over 40 minus 9 over 50. And I put a 600 here, 600 here, or you can just do 1 600. That depends on you. All right, how many times will 30 go into 600? 20 times, right? 20 times 1 is 20. How many times will 40 go into 600? Well, let's see. 40 would be 10 times 2 times 2, so that's 15. 15 times 11, so I go up here and I say 15 times 10 is what? 150, and that leaves 1 times 15. That's 15, that'll be 165. You should be doing that in your head. If you have to type 11 times 15 in a calculator, that is not good. Okay? That means you're dependent on a calculator, and I'm sorry if that offends you, you are. You should at least be able to do this to the side real quick. So that's 165. 50 will go into 600. 50, let's see, where's 50? Here's 50 right here. So mark that out. How many times? 12. 12 times 9. 12 times 9. 12 times 9. How do you do that, Hubert? Well, what's 10 times 9? 90. And 9 times 2 is what? 18. So what is it? 108.
I mean, what?
What'd she say?
I have 108 right now, but I said 180. I'm dyslexic.
With dyslexic mom, and it's okay.
You quit getting that stuff from that place, you'll be all right.
You stop drinking your alcohol, you be alright.
I would not. I drink alcohol every day. So
I drink this every day. But
that stuff, I don't buy anything from that place. Sorry. Because in the past they haven't supported our troops overseas, and I wouldn't give a damn dime to them. And then after they got called on it, they started, oh, we're going to do this for our veterans, we're going to do this for our veterans. Yeah, now that you've been called on it, I'm sorry. What's 20 minus 165? If you have $20 in your pocket and you subtract, or you owe 165, then you give $20 to Visa, you owe 100 and what? 145. And you can put it all over 600 because it's a common denominator. If you owe Visa $108 and you owe MasterCard $145, then you owe both of them to what? 253 over 600. And it's a miracle. You're doing fractions. But people don't know how to do this, so therefore they can't do this. This is what people do. Somebody, now I want you to take your calculator out. Take 30 times 40 and multiply it by 50. What do you get?
30 times 40 times 50.
Yeah. 60,000? That's what people do. They take the three denominators and they multiply them together. Then they get a number so high, what do they have to depend on? They have to depend on a calculator to do it. And I guarantee you, and you can throw your hand up. How many of you had a teacher that showed you how to do fractions and told you to use a calculator? You know why? Because that teacher didn't know how to do fractions. Negative 253 divided by 600. So if you want to complain about a teacher, you need to complain about that one. Don't complain about your teacher that drinks in class.
My English paper I have to write, and my topic is why high schools don't prepare you for college.
Well, you also got to realize this. Some students don't listen. Okay? Some students don't listen. And some students don't read what they're given. I'm sorry, Easley. I'm sorry you had to hear that. Easley, y'all not talking. What's the matter?
We're listening. We're learning.
Oh, you're learning. Okay.
Gotta go.
I'll be acknowledged. Miss Cowan doesn't send me a question. Okay, let's get rid of that one. Oops, I'm sorry. That's 51 and 81. I don't know which one we just did. What number did we just do? Online, what question was that one we just did? Okay, this one's before that one, so we'll do this one.
Hurt the chair's feelings.
Okay, this says, given, if possible, reduce to lowest terms. Okay. First of all, what do you do on this one? Well, you've got to say x is equal to 0.5 repeating. So x is equal to 0.5 repeating. This is not a Hubert test question. This is a standardized test question. You've already got one in your notes, but it's a little bit different. I think it was to the 100, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To the 100? Yeah. All right, so this one is to the what? 10. So I'm going to multiply the whole thing by 10, and I get 10x is equal to 5.5 repeating. Now I go over here and I take 10x equals 5.5 repeating. and I subtract 1x is equal to 0.5 repeating. And what happens to the 0.5 repeating? That's what you want. So in this case, I just had to multiply by 10 instead of 100. Now, could you have done it with 100? Yes. You should get the same answer. You just have to reduce the fraction down. So what's 10x minus 1x? Divided by 9, and that's your answer. 5/9. So take your calculator and divide by 5 divided by 9, and tell me if you come up with a repeating 0.5.
Yes.
Yay!
5, 6.
And we feel good about ourselves. Question on that one. I don't like to give that one as a test question because it does confuse people, but I do put it in your notes and I do it for homework, so you will have it and you'll be aware of it if you ever see it on a standardized test or entry level test. This is, I think it's supposed to be putting it in order. Miss Cowan just sent one, or Miss Clinton. Where's Miss Clinton?
Mister.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sorry. I don't look at names. I'm sorry. Fuller Clinton. Okay, you just sent that one, and that one is same one that Miss Hughes sent.
But it's like.
Okay, we'll do both. This is number 23. Yes, it is a test question. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We'll get into that a
Oh,
little
God,
bit more
not that
in Unit
again.
2. Say again?
Not that again.
Yep. And I had a student one time, and I went off on the student. Mr. McClure, I don't understand what you're saying. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I don't understand. And I
Oh
said,
my gosh.
and I wrote out the P. Oh, you mean PEMDAS. I learned it as PEMDAS.
How do you not know? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
She
That's
knew
literally
it.
the first thing
She was
you
making
learn.
fun of me because I was using please excuse my dear Aunt Sally instead of what she used, which was PEMDAS. She was making fun of me because she was from not around here, and she
Oh, that
was
makes
making
sense.
fun of me. Is what she was doing.
I'm not.
Mr. McClure, I don't understand what you are saying. She knew damn well what I was saying. Anyway, y'all know that's why I'm divorced. You know the type. You know the type person I'm talking about. They know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
but
They
they
just wanna
want
make you look like
they want to make you feel inferior to them by saying something else.
My mom does that sometimes.
That's why I'm divorced. All right. No, I'm just kidding. That was number 1 of 5 reasons for divorce. All right. So here we go. 1/2 plus 1/4 times 16, 17. Now, the reason I did this is because please, and PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This is parentheses, this is exponent, this is multiplication, this is division, this is addition, and this is subtraction. Numbers, you go this way. Algebra, you go this way. So we're doing numbers. So that's why I put parentheses around those two. Actually, this problem is supposed to be, they're supposed to introduce order of operations in the first part of chapter 2, but evidently they've changed. Evidently this is a new book. So my error. Can I cancel anything doing this multiplication?
4 and 16.
I can cancel the 4 and 16. So I'm not going to use red because you don't have to do it. I'm using blue because I'm going to do it so I won't have to reduce it. So 1/2 1/2 plus, and the 4 will go in the 4 one time, will go in there 4 times, and 1 times 4 is what?
4.
And 1 times 17 is?
17.
Now you need to get a common denominator. Well, what's good about this?
They're both prime.
Good job. 2 and 17 are both prime, so you just multiply them together because you can't use anything else. And so you go 34 and 34, and I guarantee you by now you know that 2 times 17 is 34 because of the homework that you've done, but hopefully you do. How many times will 2 go into 34? 17 times. 17 times 1 is 17. 34 will go in there 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. What's 8 plus 17? 25, Hubert. Thank you, class. That is a very good math question. Test question. You'll have 500 of those on the test.
Okay, so now I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have the same question, but it's like different numbers, and all the bottom divisors, they're all prime numbers, 3, 5, and 23. How would you go about that?
Send it to me. We'll do it. 25 over 34. I'd love for y'all to send questions. Y'all can't tell it. Okay, so that one's good. All right? So whoever sent that one, good job. That's a good test question. Let's see. This one Miss Woodward just sent is, I think it's the same one you said, didn't it? Yeah, it's the same one, just different numbers. So let me get rid of this one. So, okay, now we'll go to Miss Woodward's, and then we'll go to Miss Hughes. Okay, 23. All right, try that one. 1/3. And I'm going to treat this one as another one I want you to try. So everybody should be working on it. 1/3 plus 1/5 parentheses yes, multiplication. If I do a dot, that means multiplication. I'll give y'all a couple of seconds to get discouraged and quit. Yeah, this was the same student that, I understand PIMDAS. I don't know what you're talking about. This was the same student that said, oh, I don't understand what you're saying when you say that word. And I was saying F-O-I-L. I was saying full. Mr. McClure, I don't understand what you're saying. And I wrote it out. And this is no joke. This is the story behind the F-O-I-L and the O-I-L. I never do say it. So she said, I wrote it out, F-O-I-L. And she said, oh, you mean foil. And when she said that, this was like the second semester I was teaching. When she said foil, she had the Pennsylvania nasal thing going on. She ran out of the room crying because the class was laughing at her. So she was a prime example of she could dish it out, but she couldn't what? She never did come back. Somebody finally came and got her books. And boy, I
Or as my mom said, that's the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, she could. That was like the second semester I taught. Mr. McClure, I do not understand what you are saying. Oh, you mean foil?
Do you ever have the urge to slap a student?
I tell you, that's when I question whether I need to be a teacher, is when I have students like that. But luckily, I've only had to throw out 3 people in 25 years, so. And she was one that I would have thrown out, but she never did come back. She cried. And her book sat at the back of the room for like two days. And evidently she dropped. No, she didn't drop. I gave her an F because I'll never forget how good it felt to give her that F because she never did drop. Okay, how many times will 5 go into 5? 1 time, and 4. So now we've got, well, 1 over 3 plus, what's 1 times 4? And 1 times 23? Now, we still have, as you said, Ms. Woodward, you have 2 primes, so that's going to be 69, right? So 69 here. Now, the good thing about using primes is the other number, this number will go in here, the other number. So 3 will go into 69 23 times. 1 is 23 will go into 69 3 times. 3 times 4 is, and what's 23 plus 12?
35.
35. See how easy these things are? They're easy because you know how to do them. But you try to tell somebody how to do one of these problems when they don't know anything about prime numbers, when they don't know anything about finding the common denominator. It's like Japanese to them. Is it okay if I say Japanese? Is that okay? Isn't that a language? That's okay, isn't it? I don't offend anybody. What is that noise? Anybody got a question on that one? All right, now Miss Hughes sent one. Let's do it. If it's not too familiar, okay? So let's try that one. 1/2 plus 1/3 times 6/25. 1/2 plus 1/3 times 6 over 25. Give you a second. And 3 will cancel with 6. Now you don't have to do that. You could have done 1 times 6 is 6 over 75, but you divide 3 into 6 and 75, so you get 2 over 25 no matter what. So 1/2 plus 2 over 25, and everybody should get this one. What's the common denominator? 50. 2 will go into 50, 25 times 1. 25 going in 2 times 2. Sorry. 4. I was thinking of the answer. 24 plus 5, 29. My brain is going ahead of me. 29 over 50.
It's so much easier when we're doing it on the board with you, but then when I look at it at home, I'm just like, what is this nonsense?
Well, and that's when, well, Miss Woodward, I have not covered one of these, okay? I didn't know these were in here, so I'm glad y'all sent them. I think these have just been added because I don't remember order of operations being in 5.3. Which is a good place to put it, and I agree with it. I just didn't know they had done it. So my apologies. Maybe now after I showed it to you, you can use this video and, go over it. 29 over 50. Oh, where's Pookie? 29 over 50. And that makes everybody feel better about themselves. Okay. Next, 24. One right after 23. And that's another good one. Good test question. Y'all are sending me, and I know why you're sending them because I didn't cover it. So, now, what happens when you have brother and sister? Let me just go ahead and show you order of operations right quick. So I won't have to do it in the next unit. That's from the last class. In mathematics, we have these two guys, and we have these two guys. Now, why did I put these two together, and why did I put these two together? Why didn't I put addition with multiplication? Why did I put addition with subtraction and multiplication with division? Why didn't I put division with subtraction? Why did I put them together like that? Because they're opposites. They undo each other. They're opposites. They undo each other. Give me two members of the family that are opposite and do everything opposite of each other. Brother and what? Brother and sister. If one says the sky is blue, the other one says no, it's not, it's gray. If one says yes, the other one says no. And plus, there's only two that's blood relatives. Mom and Daddy ain't blood relatives. Okay, well, no, let's leave that alone. Let's leave that alone. Okay? So both of these are opposites. They undo each other, and they are basically like brother and sister. Does everybody agree with that? I mean, is there anything there that I pretty much is untrue? I don't think so. So if you have brother and sister in a sentence, you go left to what? Right. If you have brother and sister in a sentence, you go left to right, just like you read. Now this is a Hubertism. You ain't going to see this unless somebody stole it from me. Because there ain't no book that's going to call addition and subtraction brother and sister. Now, what if you crisscross the brother and sisters? In the family situation, you have cousins. And cousins go where? To Aunt Sally's house. Oh, I heard somebody say it. That's the difference. Have you ever done please excuse my dear Aunt Sally and got it wrong? That's because you've got a special sentence that is brother and sister. Now, how many times do you have these special sentences? Probably 10% of the time. And that problem that we just came from, is it please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or is it left to right? It's left to right. Why? Because it's division and what? Multiplication. So I'm going to do 11 over 18 divided by 2 over 6. I'm going to do that first. And then multiply it by 2 over 18. Now, is there such thing as division by fraction? No. So I'm going to rewrite it. And I'm going to do that in green because I want you to realize what I'm doing. I'm not doing any mathematical. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to multiply by 6 over 2. 11 over 18 times 2 over 18. Now, can I cancel anything with the 6 and the 18? So I'm going to cancel 6 will go into 6 one time. 6 will go into 18 3 times. So what's 11 times 1? 11, Hubert. Thank you, class. And what's 3 times 2? 6. Multiplied by 2 over 18. And the 2 will go into 2 one time. 2 will go in there 3 times. What's 11 times 1?
11.
And what's 3 times 18? 54. So your answer is 11 over 54. So whoever sent this question, good job, because this is a unique question. Well, Hubert, I didn't do it that way. Well, let's just compare answers. Let's see if I got it right. Hubert got it right, so that means you got it what? Wrong. If you say that you do it the other way. If you do it the other way, you won't get that answer. So, brother and sister, you go left to right. Let me explain that. Some of y'all may have heard this in your lifetime. The missing dollar. There's these three guys. These three Clemson students. I'm sorry, Clemson.
Somebody did that at work the other day when I asked for the email. They said Clemson, and they said it like that, and I was like, oh my God.
They said Clemson or they say Clemson?
Clemson.
Clemson, yeah. That's somebody that don't want to sound like a southern redneck.
And I just looked at it, and I was like, oh.
Yep. If you, just like that woman from Pennsylvania, she didn't want to be associated with somebody that said foil or full or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That wasn't sophisticated enough for her. So these three guys go down to Columbia and they get a hotel room. Three guys get a hotel room. And the hotel is $30 a night. Okay? So each one gives what? $10, right? The guy at the front desk says, "Oh gosh, that's the room over the dumpster. So I need to knock $5 off." So he gives his grandson a $5 bill to give him because he charged him too much. And the grandson says, "How am I going to give a $5 bill to three guys?" Are y'all listening? Because everybody looks like they're doing their, that's why I don't like laptops. Are y'all listening?
Yeah.
Okay. So the guy goes, "I can't give five $1 bills." He goes and changes the $5 bill to 5 ones. And he can't give three guys five $1 bills. So he puts 2 in his pocket. So the grandson puts 2 in his pocket and he gives each one $1. So how much did they pay for the room? $9 a piece. Times 3 is 27, plus the 2 in his pocket is $29. Where's the missing dollar? You can win a whole lot of liquor and beer off of this, and money. Okay? The reason is, what did I do first? I subtracted before I what? You can't do that. If you go against, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or you go against left to right, you will get the wrong answer every time. If I took this one and said, well, 2 times 2 is 4, 11/18 divided by 4 over, oh, well, let's use it easy. That's 1 and 3. 2, that'd be 2 over, what's 3 times 18? 54? And 11 over 18 multiplied by 54 over 2 will give me 540 plus 54 is 594. Somebody check my math. Over 36. And that's nothing like 11 over 54. So the order of operations mean a lot, but you got to know how to use them. 90% of the time, you will be able to use, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, but there are some times that you just go left to what? And this is one of those. So you need to mark this with a highlighter, and you need to put put something on the outside of the page, a tab or something. Watch out, because these are on all kinds of tests. Let's do another one if y'all got one sent. Okay, this is number 24. Good gracious alive. Y'all know y'all supposed to be doing this homework at home. Y'all know that, right? I just want to make sure y'all understand that.
You said you like questions.
I like questions when you work at home, not during class. All right. That's why it's called homework. All right. 37 over 54 multiplied by, I'm going to do that in green, multiplied by 18 over 5 times 5 over 26, 126. And I'm going to highlight this because I'm going to put parentheses because we're going left to right because it's brother and sister. And what will go into 54 and 18? I know 2 will go in there. 6 will go, so I'm going to take my handy dandy blue marker. 6 will go into 18 3 times. 6 will go in there 9 times. 3 will go into 3 1 time. 3 will go into 9 3 times. So what's 37 times 1? 37. And what's 3 times 5? 15. And what will cancel there? 5 will go into 5 1 time, 5 will go in there 3 times. What's 37 times 1? 37. What's 3 times 126? Well, that'd be 378. Somebody check me.
It is 378.
And most of you should be able to get that 378 because what's 3 times 1? 3. What's 3 times 2? 6. And then in your head, 3 times 6 is 18, so that'll make that 6, a 7, and then the 8. You should either be doing 3 times 126 by hand or in your head. You should not be doing it on the calculator because that's not doing. I could get a monkey to do that. That's not learning anything. Now, when you need a calculator, I will tell you you need a calculator, but you don't need one right now. 37 divided by 378. Now, if you're using a calculator to check your work, that's a different story. 378. I tell my son when he's doing work, by hand, or I tell him to, it's about time to go.
Yep.
Okay. I tell him to use the calculator to check it. If I see him use the calculator, I hit him over the head with a board.
Fair enough.
Okay, now let's look and see what we've done today. Did we do that one right there, or has that one just been sent? That one's just been sent. So I'm going to delete this one. Okay. Did we just go over? I don't know if I deleted it or not. We still got questions to go over. We still got 5.6 left, right? Yeah. What was 5.5? Did we do 5.5?
MIA.
Okay. So 5.6 is, we still got that over. And y'all are good to go. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all Wednesday.